everyone. Welcome. You've done it. You found Kick the Cool. Here we are. I am the little brother Wopsle.
I'm the big sister Shishi.
And after this long period of solitude, I'm definitely your biggest little brother Tone.
And in the giant sea of cool podcasts, you finally found the podcast that kicks the ghoul to the curb and gives you the reviews you didn't know you bleeded. You guys, this is a spooky one. Are you guys ready for the Halloween spooky episode? One?
Spooky? Did we fast forward about 6 months?
Hey, y'all.
Yeah.
I ain't afraid of no ghosts.
Oh.
I don't know if you guys are, but I ain't.
Who are you going to call?
This is our 13th episode, and it's just got the spooky vibes. It's just feeling kind of spooky.
Oh, wait. You know what today is?
I do, yes. What is today, Tone?
It's Friday. We're recording on a Friday, and it's the 13th episode.
Spooky abounds. We are lousy with spooks.
I am so scared.
But you ain't afraid of no ghosts.
I am not afraid, but I'm very scared.
We've established that.
I got two things that I do want to say, though, maybe about the Ghostbusters franchise. Let's just get into it. One is that the theme song says, I ain't afraid of no ghost. But like on the reg, every movie, those guys are pretty afraid of all the ghosts. And they should be. Like, they get some really scary ghosts. So first of all, like, they are afraid of some ghosts.
I think that it's just tough talk. That's what I think.
It's just tough talk? That's true, because the ghosts hear that blasting and they're like, oh, these guys aren't going to be afraid.
They're not afraid. Right.
Yeah.
Right. They are scared, but they're not afraid. And the great thing is, though, Bill Murray.
He ain't afraid.
Never is scared. At least he doesn't show it, right? Like.
Yeah, that's true.
The other guys are like messed up, but Venkman, forget it. He sees Sigourney Weaver talking in this devil voice, and he's like, I can still get with her.
Yeah. Like minor speed bump.
That's because he's a dog, not because he's not scared.
Maybe so.
I ain't afraid of no girls.
Then the other thing is that there is one ghost, right, that they're not afraid of, and it's Slimer, everyone's favorite green Slimer. Mm-hmm. Is it ever covered as to why Slimer is just cool and chill? Like, why is he the one ghost that just gets to hang around?
Does he hang around? I thought that they got rid of him and then he was just gone.
No, though. Here's what happened in the first movie. He's the first ghost that they bust.
Uh-huh.
And then in the second movie,
that made him feel so good.
Right, right. They felt so good.
He was in their hearts forever.
In the second movie, he was a house guest.
Yeah, he was the puppy. He was the Dalmatian that ran around the firehouse. Yeah.
Right. Eating everything.
Why is he cool, though?
Right.
I think the second movie doesn't count. That's what I say.
What?
Because I haven't seen it. The second movie doesn't count because I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it in a really. I think I've only seen it once.
Dude, it's as good as the first one. It's like a Back to the Future situation. Like, it's so good.
Really? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
One of the biggest problems with this thing is, first of all, you got to love that he feels that it's so important to tell you how busting makes him feel. Like, hey, did we really want to know that? Like, we're sitting there thinking, yeah, I hear you, Ray Parker Jr., or whatever your name is, but I don't know how it makes you feel. How do you feel when you bust?
You know what? Tony, to your point, I've never seen somebody doing their vocation and really wondered how that made them feel. Like, for example, if I'm in Baskin Robbins, I don't want the guy to look at me and say, scooping makes me feel good. Like, no. Well, then don't scoop. Then stop it.
Can you imagine him with just total eye contact while he says that, scooping at the same time, all three of those things at the same time?
Yeah, there would be a Scooby-Doo style ghost silhouette of me as I ran out the door.
There would be a hole the size of Wopsle in the window.
Yeah. So I don't want anyone's vocation to make them feel good. Or if it does, I don't need to know.
Don't tell anyone. See, that's the thing. You're not supposed to tell people when you feel good. Right. You're supposed to keep it a secret. The other thing is they completely go after someone that is totally innocent. He's talking about ghosts here, ghosts there. I ain't afraid. Bustin' makes me feel good. And then he says, an invisible man sleeping in your bed. Well, that's not even a ghost. That's the invisible man. And all he's doing is trying to catch a nap.
It's an invisible man.
Right. Just one of the many. And he's just trying to sleep. Bust him.
He's taking a nap.
Right here, or are we busting Bigfoot now? Like, no, like, stay in your lane, Ghostbusters.
He's just a man.
Well, episode 13, I don't care. I ain't afraid of no ghosts. Invisible mans, I am a little afraid of, but not ghosts.
Invisible mans.
Invisible man.
All right, well, let's get on with this spookiest of episodes so far with our reviews. So, Shishi, what do you have to review for us today?
Yeah.
For some reason, this thing that I just thought of 5 minutes ago is the one that I'm going to review.
I love it.
Right.
Hey,
so,
can I'd like to say something real quick. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I was talking to a friend of mine who's, I asked him how he's been enjoying the podcast lately. And he said, and we started talking about the podcast, and he was under the impression that we share our review topics a week beforehand and come up with things to say.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Yeah. No.
Oh, man.
No.
Not only does each other not know, but we ourselves usually don't know what we're
We
going to
often
do
do not know.
before it comes out of our mouths.
But that's great.
So I just wanted to make sure that was clear.
Yeah, that's great that he thinks so. We're doing something right.
Right.
Okay, so my topic today is Rugrats. The Rugrats, guys.
The show?
The show, The Rugrats. I don't think it's The
Oh,
Rugrats.
man.
I think it's just Rugrats. Honestly, I just kind of wanted to have a discussion about it because I was an adult with kids when that came out. And then, but I think, Wopsle, you watched it, didn't you?
Hardcore. Yeah, big time.
Okay, that's what I thought. Tone, are you familiar with Rugrats?
You guys got me again. I've never seen an episode of Rugrats. And I don't know anything other than the name.
But you know, the reason that I kind of wanted to talk about it is because it's the animation kind of creeps me out. Like that was the first cartoon that I can remember that had this like messy kind of ugly, look and feel to it.
Yeah, a lot of those 90s Nickelodeon cartoons, it was kind of messy like that. And the perspective was always intentionally off. Like the room would be too deep or like kind of squished. And yeah, Rugrats came out in 1991. So it was like the first 90s Nickelodeon animated show that led to a bunch of them.
So Beavis and Butthead got their aesthetic from Rugrats.
Did Beavis and Butthead come first?
No, Beavis and Butthead didn't come out until 93.
Oh, okay. So maybe, I mean, it was probably a grunge type aesthetic that just kind of permeated and put its fingers into everything. So it just kind of gives me the creeps. I mean, I feel bad because it's a cute show, but it gives me the creeps.
Yeah, and I love Rugrats. So it came out when I was 10 years old. And then like it was still kind of cool, even like in middle school, to like quote unquote ironically like it, Yeah. And so then I was a freshman in high school when the movie came out. I think somewhere around there, freshman or sophomore, when the movie came out. So me and all my buddies went and saw the movie. So like I think I'm a rughead. I think I might be like a good old fashioned rughead when it comes to Rugrats.
A rughead.
That sounds offensive. That sounds really offensive.
It's not a slur, but it does sound like a slur.
Yeah, Rugrats was so good. There was the Tony, I'll kind of let you in on it. The premise, of course, was these little kids and they could talk to one another, and understand each other. And they always like talked about these grown up concepts, but kind of like slightly misunderstood them a lot of times, And so like there was one still to this day, whenever I'm talking about responsibilities with someone, I call them sponsorbilities. And that was a whole episode where they were trying to figure out like, oh man, the adults are always so worried about their sponsorbilities. So they're trying to like figure out how are they supposed to deal with sponsorbilities.
It was so funny.
It's so like
it was so funny.
That sounds great.
There's so many little things like that they got messed up. Little Tommy Pickles would always just kind of like switch it up a little bit.
Now let me ask this question. Where would one of my famous lines go? Would it fit into Rugrats whenever Mom said, I said, Mom, can I have some of that candy? And she said, no, it'll spoil your appetite. I said, Mom, it won't spoil my appetite.
That is perfect.
There was definitely, that was like got Rugrats all
and
over
they had video games. They still have video games coming out.
Rugrats is like the baby Power Rangers. Like they just keep coming back in different iterations. And see, I thought you might have brought this up because, I have kids in the house, so we still watch Nickelodeon a whole lot, and they're bringing back all the 90s stuff. All that is on TV again right now.
They?
And it's pretty good. And they actually just announced that they're redoing Rugrats. It comes out in 2021, a whole new reboot
Are they?
of the little kids of it. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Do we want that?
Well, I do because I want my kids to watch it. And, it's so funny. They could do the exact same thing, but my kids will watch it if it's new and they won't watch it if it's old because Dad said to watch it if it's old.
And kids nowadays don't want that grunge aesthetic.
Right.
So
yeah, I don't know if it'll have a different aesthetic or not, but yeah, I'm pretty pumped about it. Rugrats was my jam.
So every time someone ever said the word Rugrat, I see a little kid, probably 3-4 years old. He's got frayed jeans, and he's a little dirty, and he's got a smile on his face.
Mm-hmm.
That's a Rugrat.
So you're thinking of Wopsle at age 4
Rascal.
or 5. Yeah.
Exactly. I'm thinking of Wopsle and Rick at age 4.
Yes.
And what's funny is I've never thought about the actual words that are in that word. Rugrats. I never thought about that. How weird. What's wrong with me? Why didn't I think about there's a rug
Yes.
and there are rats on it?
Yeah.
And that's what we call kids. It is a little weird.
I think it's great.
Weird.
I think it's not weird at all because if you have kids, it's the same as calling them ankle biters. That's hilarious.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if kids were any smarter, they might be offended by all the things we call them. But luckily, they can't figure it out.
Luckily, they're idiots and they have no idea what we're saying. Yeah. Okay, so when I was a Rugrat, my mom told me, we were having a little birthday party for me at Grandma's house, Grandma Cornelius, and we were, she was putting the cake on the saucers and handing them out, and she gave me one, and it was on a pink saucer, and it was on a yellow saucer, and I wanted pink. And to get me to calm down and stop throwing a fit about the color of my saucer, she said, well, honey, yellow saucers are for the birthday girl. The birthday girl always gets a yellow saucer.
Oh.
Okay, but what did I believe until I was 25 years old? I thought there was
yellow is for birthday.
I thought there was some magical color association. So
you felt so bad for all the people who did not get a yellow saucer.
And I never questioned it. So I can see why you would say that about, it's just things are what they are. And if you don't ponder it, then you never break your brain.
Yeah, you just see it every day. You see it all the time and you don't think about it. Then once in a while you go, but remember, that's what that is. Just don't forget that's we're talking about rats on a rug. Okay. Don't forget.
I'm looking at some synonyms. There's another one I forgot about that's really funny, and that is crumb snatcher. That's pretty funny.
I've never heard that one.
I've never heard that one, no.
I think that's actually a character name on Bob's Burgers. I'm pretty sure. Crumb snatcher.
It should be if it's not.
Mr. Crumb Snatcher.
I have to tell you one more story. When I was a kid, our cousin Sammy told me that if I put my finger in my belly button, I could die. Mm-hmm. And guess what else I believed until I was 25 years old?
What's your point? What's the point?
So, Tony, I hate to break it to you, but you've been living a lie this whole time. You can put your finger in your belly button and you'll be fine. Mm-hmm. I've tried it.
I know.
Oh.
I know. Yeah, I do. I know that.
So both of those things.
I know that. Everybody knows that.
Both of those things you said 25. Did you have some kind of great awakening when you were 25?
Right, that's what I want to know
I
too.
think my brain was finally fully developed. Isn't that about the right time? That's when I started making all these little connections that I never made before.
I hope that you woke up with this new knowledge and it didn't hit you in mid-work day.
I honestly don't.
Boom, like blows the back of your head out. You're like, oh my God. Wow. My finger is so close to my belly button right now.
Let's all put our fingers in our belly buttons right now.
You're crazy.
No.
Right now. Right now.
You are literally insane.
I swear you'll be fine. I swear.
On Friday the 13th? Are you serious?
Listen, we're getting spooky, but we're not getting crazy.
Exactly.
You can't tell me you've never washed your belly button, because
I do. I have
put your finger in there to do that.
I spray water in there.
Oh, okay.
After every shower, I go in the backyard and fire up the water hose.
Mm-hmm. I stick my stomach out and I drop a drop of soap in there, a liquid soap.
Dish soap you've got in there just for that.
That's right. Dawn. In the belly button. I do not have a greasy belly button. I like that.
We go so far off topic.
Have you ever stuck your finger in someone else's belly button and they did not like that?
If I've ever stuck my finger in someone else's belly button, they either didn't care. No, I'm just going to say they didn't care.
Okay.
So they were dead then. The only way that they wouldn't care is if they were no longer a living human.
Hey.
Remember when I stuck my finger in that dead guy's belly button?
I have not been around that many dead guys.
That's a better story tone than remember the time I stuck my finger in another human being's live belly button.
That's true. Right.
Hey, can we talk about a few more things that we believed as kids for a long time? Because I'm sure one of you guys told me one time that the moon was, it was all kind of yellow or white or whatever, but there were all those dark patches. One of y'all fools told me that those dark patches were bats.
Not me.
And that the moon was full of bats.
Are you sure you didn't dream it?
No, I was told that. I remember we were sitting out in front of the house that was out north of Payton, standing out there watching, it was so beautiful out there. You could see stars and the moon and everything. Full moon. We're looking at it and someone said that the moon is full of bats.
That sounds like
just
a cousin
terrified
Joe.
Me.
That sounds like
that
a
might have been a
thing.
cousin. It might have been a cousin
Yeah.
thing. But here's the deal is, number one, like, why would that even mean? I don't know. But number two, if it was, the moon's so far away, why would I be scared if it's full of bats?
Right.
But I was, for most of my life, I've been terrified that the bats from the moon are going to get out and they're going to come get me.
Well, you don't have to be in striking range of something to be like for it to give you a sense of dread and give you the heebie-jeebies. Because I'm telling you right now, I don't care if those bats can get to me or not. If the moon is only populated by bats, I am freaking out.
Creeped out.
I'm so scared.
Done. Yes.
You guys don't like bats? Bats are cool.
Oh.
They're sky rats.
See? Give me Rugrats over Sky Rats every day.
There's Sky Rats. I'm getting it.
That's really cool. See, and I know it wasn't me because I can barely lie to make a joke funny on this podcast. So
right.
I never lied to you, Wopsle.
No, that's true.
So,
it probably was a cousin thing. That seems like a cousin kind of deal.
I would totally claim it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey guys, let's talk about all the different kinds of rats there are. Because we got Sky Rats, we got Rugrats,
Pizza Rat.
Pizza Rat,
Pizza Rat.
Pizza Rat. Pizza Rat. Uh-huh.
The Rats of Nim.
Yeah, should I get on Google? We have a brown rat, a black rat, a long-haired rat, a bush rat. No.
Yeah, that's not what you're looking for.
That's pure comedy. Put that one on Facebook.
Sherry and her lists. Sherry does love those lists.
Hey guys, we've got a Sky Rat. We've got a Rugrat. We've got a Pizza Rat. What other kind of rats? Brown, black, white, male,
You
female.
got your Polynesian rat, your possum rat, Australian swamp rat. Yeah. Oh no. Tone, what do you rate Rugrats?
I feel really bad because I'm rating something that I don't know about. So I'm gonna rate Wopsle when he was 4 years old, and I'm gonna give that a 99.9% out of 100.
Oh, yes,
that's
he was
very
the cutest.
generous. That is very generous.
I'm gonna.
Generous.
Excuse me.
he reverted to his old speech patterns. Generous.
It was generous.
It was very generous.
It was very generous.
So, okay, Wopsle, what do you rate Rugrats?
I feel like there's so many good ways to rate Rugrats. I love Rugrats. I think I've got to rate by the number one best part of Rugrats, which was Reptar.
Oh, yeah.
Which was just a sweet green monster.
Oh.
Reptar.
Yes.
They had a kid
That's
monster,
good.
a child monster.
Yeah. It was just, just monster from down the street.
Oh, okay.
He was in a costume, right? Like
No,
he was just
yeah,
walking around in
was
costume,
like
but they didn't know that it was a costume.
Yeah,
Right.
no, he was like a TV show, and so they would go see him at the mall, and they had toys of him and stuff like that. He wasn't really just hanging out with them.
Well, that brings me to another story of when we had a Godzilla that was about 1.5 feet high, and we would set it places, and Wopsle was terrified of it.
Mhm.
And we would set it places knowing that he would run into it and scream and run away.
Not only would we set it places, it had wheels under its feet.
Mm-hmm.
So you could roll it across our
pull
hardwood
it.
floors.
Mm-hmm. Wopsle,
Oh,
tell me you don't remember
man.
that, because I feel really bad about that.
I feel pretty strongly that I remember it rolling toward me. Like I came around a corner and it was
Mhm.
rolling toward
Yep.
me on a
You
string or
probably-
something.
That was the
Have
setup.
nightmares.
Oh man, that's so scary.
We would call you into the bedroom from the living room, and right when we heard you about to round the corner, we would push the Godzilla that was taller than you, by the way.
Right.
We would push the Godzilla on its rollers, and it would just be coming at you when you came around the corner. The funniest thing.
Funny. It was.
Oh.
It was fun.
At
Yes.
I'd be like,
time.
hey,
But it
my
wasn't
brother and
funny.
my sister. My brother and my
Right.
sister want to say something to me. This is going to be great. Doop-de-doop-de-doo.
Betrayal.
100-foot monster coming around the corner instead.
And we wonder why he yelled, "Don't hurt me," when he was in the bank.
Okay, so I'm gonna rate Rugrats 1 star. 1 star.
Okay. That
All
seems
right.
harsh.
All right.
Well, you don't know if that's good or bad, do you?
Out of a
That's
possible
true.
1 star, it's a pretty
At
good
a
rating.
possible 1 star.
That's right. Mhm.
Okay.
All right. Well, good topic. Good topic, She. Tone, what are you reviewing for us this week?
This week, I want to break it down to basics. Let's talk about drinking water.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, so what do you think about drinking water?
Man, it's so important, but I'm just not a fan. That water, I don't like it in my mouth or like going down my throat or in my
Okay.
tummy.
Well, let me ask this real quick. Let me ask this. Does it change if you have been working hard in the sun and you take a pull off the water hose?
Ooh, water hose water is better. I like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Ooh, that could be a really helpful way. Like for those of you that don't like water, we're going to help you. This is the best way
Mhm.
to drink water.
Yeah, you people are always trying. Like, this is one of the biggest things. Like, we are all dehydrated. We all need to drink. None of us are drinking the proper amount of water. So you just run the hose up to your couch.
Right.
Just
No, yeah, because like even if you are dying to drink water, but you got to go to the fridge, then you're not gonna.
you're not gonna. You
But
got to
if the
make it easy.
if the hose is going through the window and hanging over the back of the couch.
Yeah, just crack
Like-
that window, pull the hose
Yeah.
in.
Yep.
They make those little things for the end, so you don't have to get up and turn it on. You know,
like a
outside.
hamster, like a hamster water bottle. Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. I think you just invented something there.
I think I'm
Yeah,
just,
you did.
yes. If there was a bottle hanging on my wall, every time I walked by, I could just kind of lick a little metal ball and it'd let some water droplets out. I think I would drink a lot more water.
Oh my God. I am so there.
I am not, because I look at the hamster and I get so frustrated for that hamster. I'm like, oh, don't you just want to drink like a big
Right.
swig?
Can
The
you-
poor hamster's like, give me more, please.
Can you imagine just walking by and going for like 5 minutes?
Right.
Just it's hanging on the wall, so you stop, but it takes you 5 minutes to get a drink.
And you got 1 cup of water in that 5 minutes. 1 8-ounce cup.
Hey, but I
That's
think
true.
that
That's
is
true.
something to think about, because I bought a pull-up bar, a chin-up bar that fits in your doorway. And I thought, if I have that just hanging there, I'll be able to do it as I go by. I'll just try one every once in a while. And it really helped. I got stronger. until it fell down with me. And then I haven't put it back up.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it did.
I got stronger until I broke my back, and now I can't work out anymore.
Yes. It was fine. But my point is that I got stronger because it was in my way. And I had to look at it every time I went down the hall. The water bottle.
Yes. So what we're saying is the water needs to get in your way.
Yes.
Yes.
So here's how we're going to get people to drink more water. Fill up a cup, throw it in their face. That's like, yeah, that's right in your way, isn't it?
You're welcome.
Now, let me ask you this. Which is better to drink water out of? A bottle, a glass, or a cup? A plastic cup?
I'm going to go plastic cup.
Me too, with ice.
Yeah, bottle is third. Not like a bottle.
Well, as you can imagine, I am the boring one. So I drink my water out of a glass with no ice, and I just drink tap water. I don't even care what it tastes like. I just drink it.
Do you find yourself like grimacing after you take a drink? Like, are you like pushing that stuff down because it's like taking a vitamin or, eating the good food that you don't want?
Not at all. I think that my body is so shriveled up that any droplet that can get in there is welcome.
Oh, okay.
I think that I'm so parched and pruny inside.
Your body's just yes, please, just whatever I can get.
Anything. Well, when we were kids, we had a water cup sitting on the sink, and you just went in there and got a drink whenever you wanted one. Like, it probably wasn't hygienic, I guess, but whatever. So, but I'd be like, I don't like water. I don't like water, Mom. And she'd be like, it's tasteless. You can't even, there's no taste to it. And she said the same thing about lettuce. There's no taste. That's not true. It all tastes like something. Right.
Well, and let's just say in theory, it is tasteless. That's not a selling point. If I'm going to put, if I'm consuming something, no, that's a really bad thing.
Yeah. I still have to do all the other jobs.
Finish your steak. It's tasteless. No.
Right. Wait, that's wow, you're going to encourage me? That's encouragement? So you're telling me I have to do the chewing and the swallowing. I have to do all the jobs I normally have to do, but I don't get to taste it. This is great.
Yeah, that's a bad thing. That's a bad agreement.
Let's talk about water fountains. We all have water fountains for the, million years we're in school, and it's not a small deal. It's a big deal, the water fountain.
Mm-hmm. Waiting in line at the water fountain, waiting your turn. I remember that. That was huge.
And the kid in front of you, what's great is sometimes he doesn't know how to drink. And he just opens his mouth and all the water goes into his mouth, collects as much of the dirt in there as it can, and then falls right back on the spigot where the water's coming out of. Mm-hmm. And if you have any concern about germs, you're like, dude, you just basically hocked a loogie on the thing I have to now drink out of.
What age range are you thinking of?
Like really gross, like 10-year-old, 12-year-old kid. Yeah.
I think that kid needs a hamster bottle.
I was going to say, and then and at the end of the day, that kid's not getting any more drink than a hamster is. Poor guy.
Right. Well, yeah. So you're waiting in line for the water fountain. You people use it wrong. Did you ever have this problem? I always felt like I can't get enough.
Yeah.
I'm trying to gulp more per gulp, and I'm not getting very much.
Well, I was going to say, I think the water fountain spectacularly fails at everything it's trying to do. Like that little art is just not good. I actually have a water fountain by my office, which is really weird. We have down the hall, we have an adult, water cooler, but the water fountain's so close. That's where I go to get my water in my little canteen. And the thing only goes up 3 inches. So I've got a 12-inch canteen, turned sideways, and I fill it up, and then it only gets 3 ounces of water in
4
it.
inches.
So it can't fill something up. It can't get water into my mouth. It's just water fountains are just so bad. I'm getting upset right now.
I'm sorry. Are you not wanting to walk down to the water cooler, or is it just that maybe you feel sorry for that water fountain and you feel like it needs to get some use?
That's a great question.
That is simultaneously the dumbest reason to do something, and also that is the reason that I do that.
I thought you might, because that's what I would do.
Yeah.
Every office is on my side of the water fountain. So everybody else is walking right past that guy. He watches everybody walk by and
poor
then walk
thing.
back.
You're the only friend that water fountain has in the world.
Yeah, I know it.
And then you come up there and he's so excited. He's wagging his little water fountain tail.
Yes.
And he's like, I'm going to make dad proud. And you push the button and you go, this piece of crap. Seriously?
He's giving me all he got. And I'm just like, man, this is.
Right. He's giving it everything.
This is so annoying.
Do you ever notice a pattern in the spray? Like maybe he's trying to communicate with Morse code or something.
Yeah. I'll have to. I haven't, because I'm usually just like looking up at the ceiling, exasperated, just going like,
for 5 minutes.
Yeah. Come on.
You know, here's what, if you actually do learn how, which I think that it's obvious now you're going to learn how to communicate with this water fountain.
Right.
Once you learn to communicate with this water fountain, could you ask him why all of his siblings try as hard as they can to get the water everywhere on the face? Because you cannot take a drink out of a water fountain. Everyone does the same move. You come up, you wipe.
You gotta wipe.
Right?
Yep.
You gotta wipe all this water off your face.
Hey, well, okay, so let me ask you this. Do you go up and put your face down and then hit the button? Or do you hit the button and then put your face where the water comes out?
You got to hit the button first because you got to see
burned.
where you're going.
Burned.
What's coming? Yeah.
I've been burned so many times like getting down there and hitting that button and just in the ear, straight ear.
Sometimes it's one that you've used before, and so you think you know where it's going to come out, and then its water pressure has changed and it hits you right in the eye.
Yes, we used to have one that was so rando that you could hit it twice in a row and get a different result.
No, I like that.
Man.
That's fun. I like that guy.
Yeah, it was great. So you would hit it, and then if you went in for your taste, and your thumb slipped off, then you had to reset. Because you couldn't just hit it again because it might go straight in your nose to your brain.
That has happened, yes.
Hey, Wopsle, what do you rate drinking water?
Ooh, it's hard because I don't like it, but I know it's good. I'm still going to have to, I'm going to have to rate it H2, no thanks.
Shishi, what do you rate drinking water?
What?
I'm bowing.
Next level. Next
Oh,
level.
Man.
Props. We are now Carrot Top, ladies and gentlemen. We have props.
Everybody in the front row got sprayed.
It's like SeaWorld show in here with the splash zone in the front 3 rows of the podcast.
Well, for my rating of drinking water, I think the first foreign language word that I learned in my life was agua. And I always loved that word. What a great word.
Good word.
Agua.
Mm-hmm.
Good word.
So I am going to rate it mas agua.
Impressive.
Yes.
Impressive
Thank you.
Spanish there.
I am. It's extensive. My knowledge.
It's extensive. Well, all right. Well, that's great. I am thirsty, and you know,
That topic made me very thirsty.
I have not had a drink of water today. You have apparently, or unless you were gurgling.
That was my spit. I was working it up that whole time.
I have a lot of saliva.
Maybe that's why I'm never thirsty.
Right. You just drink your own spit. How gross.
What's gross?
Hey, what are you doing? Oh, just drinking my spit. What are you up to?
Leaving. Deleting your contact.
Wait, you don't drink your saliva?
Let me tell you something. Drinking my spit makes me feel good.
Okay, never mind the door. I'll just leave through the window. Goodbye. All right, guys. Well, I am up last this week, and for my review this week, I'm going to go with online reviews are easy 'cause you're beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
We have some online reviews.
Smooth stylings.
Yeah.
That just hits me right every time.
So smooth.
We like to once in a while do little segments on this show, and this one is one where we look at reviews from somewhere online, and then we rate that person's review.
It's not complicated.
So as I was looking around at all, because everything's reviewing, I found something interesting. And it's that on Steam, which is a video game platform, you can review something, and then people can mark that review as helpful or funny. And I got to thinking, why did they open up to where you can mark a review as funny? That's really strange to me. So far, I haven't seen anyone else doing that, but
I think
Steam
that's very
is doing
innovative, given the
well,
climate of reviews on the internet.
well, I would say people are doing and making them funny anyway. And so I don't know if that that's probably going to up the number of people that are leaving funny reviews.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I found a funny review from Amazon this time. You guys ever rate or review anything on Amazon?
Occasionally.
No, I don't. I never have. I should.
What would compel you to rate something on Amazon, you think?
Well, the things that I have rated on Amazon were always stuff that I knew a lot about. Like if it was a computer part or something that I was just switching out, then I don't really have an opinion. It's the right part. It works.
Right.
But bras I would review.
Well, I feel like the only reason it would either be because you're like, holy cow, this thing is awesome. I've got to go review this thing. Or
it's terrible.
This thing was so bad, I have to go let the world know. The review that I've brought us is an online Amazon review, and it is one of something that somebody liked quite a bit. So this is a guy named James Thatch, and he has a whole bunch of funny Amazon reviews, but this is kind of one of his most popular funny Amazon reviews. It's about a TV. This TV is an 85-inch Samsung 4K TV. It's from 2013, so imagine a 4K TV in 2013. It cost $40,000 on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
So this is his review. My wife and I bought this after selling our daughter Amanda into slavery. We actually got it refurbished. It's missing the remote, but oh well, for $10K off, I can afford a universal, right? $10K for the remote is pretty wild. Amanda, if you're reading this, hang in there, honey. We'll see you in a year.
So they only rented Amanda.
You're indentured servitude.
Right, yeah. Yeah, he really should have reworded that. So already my rating is going to be kind of low because he said slavery when really he meant he allowed his daughter go into indentured servitude.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as you can imagine, people were not really big fans of this review.
Right.
And so he actually came back a little bit later. He said, I just wanted to add an addendum to my review. Since posting it, we have received a flood of responses. People have said some pretty hurtful things, even questioning our values. Let me assure you, this was not an easy decision to make, and we made it as a family. Obviously, it's very personal.
Okay.
But in light of all the second guessing,
Right.
I wanted to explain our thinking. First and foremost,
Is he talking about selling his kid
yeah.
or buying the TV?
He says, first and foremost, screen size. I really think you can't go too big. 85 inches may seem huge, but you get used to it so fast. Second, resolution is 4K overkill? Please, that's what they said about 1080p. More dots equals better, period. So he's addressing all the problems that people had with his original review. So he's got one more. He says, and as far as this being a $40,000 dumb TV, people need to read my initial post. We bought it refurbished. It was only $30,000. Some of you may think I'm avoiding the elephant in the room, the real reason why this was such a heart-wrenching choice. So let's just get it out there. Yes, the 120 hertz refresh rate is a disappointment, especially on a 4K. But life is full of compromises, and frankly, we hardly notice it at all. All in all, no regrets. So that's his update, and he still is pretty high on the TV.
He did not really address some things I thought he would address.
Well, okay, you're right. So he adds one more PS a little bit later. As for our daughter, no one has the right to question our parenting. Totally out of bounds. Amanda was going into the 7th grade, so it was going to be a transitional year anyway. Now she gets to see the world. How many kids her age get to go to Bahrain?
Mm-hmm.
He said, I sure didn't, but you don't hear me screaming about it. Bottom line, mind your own business. Seriously. So then he takes to Amazon reviews to get kind of personal, which I don't know if that's needed in the review section of Amazon.
I love how he doubled down on that stuff.
There are a lot of people who can't fathom that this is a joke. And they're like, no, this
That's what
is
I was
terrible.
going to ask. Yeah. Are you really saying, or were there people saying, how could you do that to your daughter? You know?
It sounds like he caught a lot of flack.
Sounds like he did. And I think that some people might have been upset, like at making light of that somebody would do this to their daughter. But like, he's not just making a silly story about that. I think he was just trying really hard to point out the absurdity of the price tag of a TV.
Right.
Exactly.
So people, I don't know if anyone took him seriously, but I think the people that were upset were like kind of missing the whole point of what was going on. Okay, well, we are now rating this guy's review of this 4K TV that he got refurbished. So it was only $30,000 for him. So, Shishi, what do you rate this guy's review?
Okay, so I like that he doubled down on the jokes that he made in the first review. I didn't think they were that funny, honestly, but he got points for doubling down, and the second part of the review was funnier than the first part of the review. So I'm going to have to give him 1 star.
Oh, I love the 1 star. Okay.
Okay. Tone, what do you rate this guy's review?
You know, what's great is 2 things. 1, he was skimping. And I love it that he was skimping. Cut 10 grand off of your price. That's skimping. I don't care where you're from.
Yes.
Number 2, here's what's great about writing a funny review on Amazon. I feel like there's a decent chance, unless he cheated and tweeted it, a screenshot or something later, there's a really good chance that no one's ever going to read it. And the only person you cracked up was yourself. And I love that.
Yeah.
I adore when people make themselves laugh and no one else. And so,
yeah, that's great.
I am going to give it a not quite as cool as my 4-year-old brother. I'm going to give it a 99.8%.
Oh, man.
Good. That's pretty good.
That's pretty high.
Pretty high.
Well, I respect that. I agree. It is kind of bold to spend so much time doing something that's there's a chance that no one will ever see. But again, I think some of his terminology, I didn't really like the way that he said some things. I think he could have maybe reworded it a little better for maximum impact. So maybe instead of 4K, I'm going to give him 2K. I rated 2K.
He doesn't deserve the whole 4K.
That's right.
Yeah. And that was kind of meant to be like an okay, but a 2K kind of thing too. But Tokay.
Excuse me?
Okay.
You want to take a run at that again?
That's nothing. Cut that out.
12K.
12K.
TWOK. That's why in my head, that's what I saw, like TWOK.
12K.
But there's but it doesn't sound right when you say it out loud. But like,
so that's a little French. 12K.
I guess.
12K.
I'll give it a yay. Oh, oui. So like,
you can make, of course, you can make anything sound French if you say it like that.
Oh, Mountain Dew.
I stand corrected.
You were so off on that.
Thanks, Wassel, for letting me know the truth.
Yeah.
I didn't want you to go around believing that whenever I knew I could show you that it wasn't true.
We endure. Mountain Dew.
Sort of like Microsoft Sam in the middle of. Oh, man. Okay, well, all this talk about Mountain Dew and drinking water is making me thirsty. So I do think that it's time for us to get out of here and wrap this episode up. What do you guys got going on?
I just want to give a shout out to Alex, who is one of my daughter's online friends. And she was just listening because it was Maggie's mom doing it. And now she's listening to every episode.
Thanks,
and we just love you, Alex.
That was awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks, Alex.
That's great.
It is good.
I would like to give a little shout out to a good friend of mine named Bud Beeman. He listens to the show. He might be a few episodes behind, which I've noticed a lot of people are saying, oh, I'm a couple episodes behind, but I'll catch up.
Yeah.
And that's okay. That's fine. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But we also want to give a huge thank you to the band Bugs, B-U-G-S. They sing our theme song, which is called Reviews, from their album Self-Help. They have new music coming out all the time. Go to their Facebook page and like them and buy some of their music. Support them in every way you can. B-U-G-S Bugs.
Yeah, Bugs, they are cool. I'll give a shout out to, I've had so many of my classmates or people that I roll with say that they have told their moms about us.
Nice.
And then their moms are listening because they'll be like, hey, you remember that guy that I used to hang out with, played trombone in the marching band? He's got a podcast. You should listen. So my request of you this week is going to be all of you tell your moms about Kick the Cool and help them download some kind of podcast app.
So you're telling me that my relationship status is going to change pretty soon on Facebook.
Yeah. Okay, well now no one's going to mention this podcast to their mom. But that's all right.
Go tell your mom, seriously.
Well, and if there is anything that is on any of your mind, we would love to hear. You can always reach us on every possible social media platform, or you can always email us directly at reviews@kick.cool. We would love to have any review ideas that you have, or just let you know what our current reviews made you think about. So it's a fun way to connect with us. We'd like to see you on all those different places. But for now, we all got to go get a drink from our hamster bottle. So, you know what? Until next time, love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye. Love you. Bye. I don't care if Monday's blue, Tuesday's gray.
1 star.
It's Friday. I'm in love.
Don't you even go with the cure. You don't get me started.
I ain't afraid of no ghosts.
Thursday, never looking back.
It's Friday.
We do the monster mash.
The monster mash.
It was a graveyard smash.
We did that, man.
My arms straight up. Yo, my closet is like bumping right now. I got my arms out. I'm monster mashing. This is great.
Cake cool.
Mash good! Exclamation point. Grr.